Rosie movement. And since 2008, the American Rosie movement has recorded the stories of many, many, many Rosies. And a common theme throughout those women was that they pulled together to do their part to support the war effort during World War II. And so Reads Across America has taken, kind of a cue from that. And they have decided that that they would do like the Rosies and pull together and start this new program about character and service components in terms of educating our young people. And so when I first talked to Karen about it, I told her, I said, as a lifelong educator, I'd be delighted to do anything that had to do with education. And so thus, here I am talking with all of you tonight, and the pleasure really is, as I said, all mine to have that opportunity to do so. Okay, Julie, you can advance to the next slide. When we look at some of the collaborative partners that we have joined with for this undertaking, the American Rosie Movement, of course, the Congressional Medal of Honor Society, the Ike Eisenhower Foundation, the Random Acts of Kindness Foundation, and the United States of America Vietnam War component. And so when we look at each of these collaborative partners, they bring a variety of excellent resources to this Teach initiative. And most of their resources are really parallel to the Reads Across America Teach component, to instill good character and to inspire a lifelong willingness to serve, which is such a strong part of this new initiative that we have started. And Reads Across America really is proud to have the opportunity to work with these different organizations and to be able to share these resources, with students, with educators, with homeschoolers, and people across the country as a part of this new Teach initiative. Okay, Julie, you can advance it to the next slide. So in addition to joining with our collaborative partners, Reads Across America has also expanded the educational curriculum to inspire young people in grades K through 12 to participate in community service activities. We really want to inspire young people in grades K through 12 to participate in these activities and projects that can serve as a way of helping to keep the legacy of our veterans alive. For example, when we look at the Reads Across America Oral History Project that is new this year, it is a project for grades 4 through 12. And what that project allows these students to do is to actually interview a veteran. And then once they have completed that project and they submit those materials, their interview materials to us, then what we will do is we will actually have a dog tag made that will go to the student. It will have their name, it will have their veteran's name, but then there will also be a dog tag that will be hung as a part of the Remembrance Tree program. And so it's kind of a twofold opportunity for students to to have an opportunity to learn something about veterans and to help them to then hopefully share information that they learn about veterans and share this program as well with people that they know, students, other students that they may know. The focus of the new lesson materials is character education and service. You know, in addition, you know, like I said, this is something that it has that we have developed that will run parallel or in alignment with the 2022 theme, which is find a way to serve. And the educational materials include lesson plans that are based on Common Core state standards, National Council for the Social Studies standards, or the Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning standards. And those are the standards that when we look at many of the character building programs, and for example, the Random Acts of Kindness Foundation, many of their standards are based on the CASEL standards, okay, in which they utilize some of those, you know, things like being honest, integrity, truth, you know, truthful, things like that. So they really do align themselves with those CASEL standards. The educational materials are now available for all grades in K through 12. This is really something that prior to this revamping of the program, if you will, there were actually very, very few resources that were available under the Teach component. And so one of the things that we're striving to do is to make sure that there are resources that are available, and not just to have resources that are available for a few of the grades, but to make sure that we have education resources that are available for all of the grades K through 12. And so what you'll see when you go onto the new Teach page, what you will actually see are lesson plans that are broken down into grade levels. Okay, so for example, kindergarten, first grade, second grade, some of them overlap so that it may be a resource that would be good for you to utilize with students who are K through 3. Okay, others of them may be grades 11 and 12. Okay, but anyway, you know, our hope was to make sure that we have resources that are available for all of the various grade levels. The Teach curriculum, like I said, is not a one and done. It is going to be an ongoing project, and new resources will be added to that Teach page. Some of them will be in conjunction with special events, and then others of them will align. For example, today we put some new resources there for the month of the military child. And so, you know, some of them, like I said, will align with some of those things. Some of the lesson plans will align with very specific things that Wreaths Across America is doing. So before we advance to the next slide, what I would like for all of you to do is to participate in a brief educational type of activity that we like to call Think, Pair, and Share. Now, if you are an educator, you know all too well about Think, Pair, and Share. So what I want you to do is this. I'm going to ask you a question, and what I want you to do, I'm going to give you about 10 seconds to think of your answer. And then what I want you to do is I want you to type your answer into the chat box. Now, if you don't know how to operate the chat box, I'm going to let Amber explain that to you. Tag team Amber, so that we can get all of the participants to put in their answer.
Okay, So at the bottom of your screen, if you're not familiar with Zoom, at the bottom of your screen, there's some buttons that say security, participants, chat. You're going to click the chat, and there is an opportunity where it says at the bottom, you can say to, and you can say to everyone in meeting. And then in that, you can type your answer and hit enter.
Absolutely. And we want you to share your answer with everybody in the meeting. Okay. So you have 10 seconds to think about your answer. Then I'm going to give 60 seconds for you to get your reply typed into the chat box, because some of you are trying to figure out how to work the chat box. Okay. But I'm going to give you about 60 seconds for you to actually type your response into the chat box. So this is your question. Okay. What is your why? Why do you serve? So everybody type in your answer. Oh, look at you all. You followed directions so well. Round of applause. Okay, I may give you a little longer than 60 seconds, only because I see the messages are steadily coming in. So when the messages kind of trickle off, then we'll call time on that. I hope that the rest of you are kind of reading these as they come across the bottom of your screen. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and advance to the next slide. If you're still trying to get your answer typed in, don't worry. We're going to let you keep typing those in. Okay, and so a lot of what I saw come over this feed in this chat had to do with remembering, honoring, and serving, and doing for veterans that you know. Some of you are like myself. You are a Gold Star parent. Maybe you're a Gold Star sibling. Okay. And so you serve in order to make sure that our child is remembered. Then I love this one. Without our veterans, we would not have the freedoms that we have. So the question then is, why do we teach kids to serve? You know, and there is a direct correlation between teaching kids to serve and the 10 special qualities that our veterans embody. And so what I want you to do is I want you to look over the list that's in the block in the red. Sense of responsibility. The idea that one person can make a difference. Sacrifice. Compassion for others. Work ethic. Leadership skills. When we think about those, correlate each of those with one of those 10 special qualities that our veterans have. A sense of responsibility can tie in with belief in a greater good. The fact that we have compassion for others, love for one another, sacrifice. Think about how much our veterans and veterans' families sacrifice, and not just the Gold Star families. So when we look at all of these, kids and teenagers learn what it means to make and keep commitments. They learn how things simple, how to be on time, how to do their best, how to take pride in their work. But they also learn that we are responsible for the well-being of others. That one person can make a difference, which is such an empowering message for our young people, because it gives them the belief that they can have an impact on something else, that they can have a positive impact on something else. The meaning of sacrifice, maybe giving up a favorite toy to a child who is less fortunate. Sometimes it's really good for us to sacrifice for others, because it takes our minds off of self. And once again, kicks back up to that sense of responsibility. Our compassion for others. When you're doing something for somebody else, it's a little hard to think about your own problems or the things that may have you down for the moment. It's that service component. They'll learn to work with people that have diverse backgrounds, people that are not like they are. Okay, and that includes everything from income levels, but it also allows them to learn that we're all pretty much on this planet together, and we need to learn how to get along. And certainly when we look at character development, that's a biggie. And so job skills, leadership skills, things like that, anytime that we can teach a child to set goals, to follow through on those goals. I don't know about the rest of you, but I can tell you that, at times I've set some pretty high goals. January 1, lose 40 pounds. Oh my goodness, that hadn't happened, let me tell you. But it's making the goal and then deciding that you're going to follow through, that you're going to make that commitment, that you're going to do those things, all of those things which help to strengthen the character of the children that we have in this country, that, at some point in time, they are going to become the leaders of this country. And so we have to try to instill those values. We have to try to instill those positive habits in the young people across the country, not just in my hometown, not just in the small community that I live in, but globally, we have to do that. So, you might be asking yourself right now, well, that's all well and good. What can I do? Well, I'm really glad that you're thinking that and you're asking. So flip to the next slide, Julie. There we go. You can help us to promote the Wreaths Across America Teach initiative by sharing the link to our resources that we have available now with your friends, with teachers that with parents who are in your community. Encourage any young people that you might know, your own children or the friends of your own children, to participate in the Veterans History Project. It's located on the Teach page. great big square at the top, and let them talk to someone who has made those sacrifices and let them learn from them directly. The next thing that you can do is to contact your local school board office or your local school district office. You can ask to speak to their supervisor of instruction or the person who sets up the in-service for your school district. You can talk to them about Wreaths Across America and the Wreaths Across America mission to remember, honor, and teach. And if you're really industrious, and I hope some of you are, okay, you can volunteer. The best way for you to get into the school board office and get what you want to get done is to do what? Volunteer to pick up some of the slack. So you can volunteer to do maybe a 10 to 15 minute presentation about Wreaths Across America the next time that they're going to have some type of school district in-service training. You know, tell them you'd like to come up there. You would like to talk to them about what it is that Wreaths Across America does. You'd like to share the resources that we now have available that are free. And in the process of doing that, you're also sharing the mission for your particular cemetery that you're working with. And, you know, it's a great opportunity for you to get that information out there, to get volunteers and to get possible donors, okay, to support your project that you have going on through Wreaths Across America. And so, you know, if you're one of those people that you go, oh no, I just can't do any kind of presentation, or, you know, I'm too nervous, I can't talk to people. Well, then ask them if you can email them the link for the Teach resources. You know, that way they can review those resources and they can forward it on to their teachers. You know, tell them that there is an opportunity for upper level students, seniors in high school who may need to receive some community service points. Let them know that they can earn those, you know, through doing community service work with Wreaths Across America, okay, through this Teach initiative. And so, you know, one of the things about seniors in high school, they're always thinking, oh my gosh, I have to write this, you know, I have to write this letter on the, you know, for this scholarship saying what it is that I've done. What kind of community service have I worked on? Well, if they go through and they work on the Wreaths Across America service learning projects, then they can actually help establish a service learning project and then see it all the way through. And so there are opportunities for them to get community service hours. There are opportunities for them to learn many new things, to learn about character and to learn about those people who represent good character. Rosie the Riveters, our veterans, you volunteers who are out there doing the groundwork, you know, are excellent examples of the types of character that we're trying to instill in our young people. And then I'm going to say it one more time, encourage, encourage, encourage any young people that you know to participate in the Veterans History Project. It's a wonderful opportunity for them to learn about sacrifices, for them to share that history with many other people. I am sure that as these projects start coming in, that we will figure out a way to highlight some of these projects as part of newsletters and e-newsletters that are going out, as well as on the social media pages. So that's my whole spiel, folks. You know, what can I say? You can move it to the next slide. I want to thank you for being here this evening. Thank you for your dedication and hard work in sharing the mission of Readers Across America. And I would be happy to answer any questions that you might have regarding the New Teach Initiative. If I can answer a question for you, I'm delighted. So thank you for listening.
Okay. So for a reminder for people that if you want to raise your hand, you can do so. Of course, and now that I'm saying that, I'm having a moment of not where to find it. If you want to raise your hand, you can do so at the bottom, right?
It's under reactions.
Under reactions. Thank you. Raise hands. I'm looking for it. I don't raise my hand often. I just talk. Keith, raised your hand first. You can go ahead, Keith, and unmute yourself.
Yes, I've not read the Veterans Oral History Project that Readers Across America have. But one of the things I did when I was in the Army Reserve, I was a public affairs first sergeant, is we actually did the Library of Congress Veterans History Project, where we recorded interviews with mostly World War II and Korean vets, so they could tie in the two projects together. I mean, if you're getting an oral history project, you might as well record it and send it to the Library of Congress. And that's been going on for about, well, at least 10 years, because I did it in 2006 and then I did it again in 2013. So just a suggestion.
Thank you, Keith. And that is absolutely, we've got the project itself, we have set up so that grades 4 through 12. And so, our thinking is that as they get older, the expectation is, of course, that their interviews will be more thought-provoking. We have included as part of that project some sample questions for them. We have included a permission form for them, so that the veteran is aware that that we are asking for their permission in order to hopefully share the video if it is a recorded video. But if the student doesn't have any kind of means that they can record it, and I know most people do now, but if they don't, they can send it to us the old-fashioned way. They can write it on paper and pencil and they can shoot it to us, and we'd love to have it just any way that we can get it. But I think that that's an excellent idea. I know that my son my oldest son participated in the oral history project also. So
I'll look into that, Keith, and to what the parameters are for submitting stuff like that. So we did put in, Cindy, in the form for submitting the Veterans Oral History Project, that you can do audio, you can do video, you can do written if there was like pictures that you wanted to send. So we kind of gave the full option.
If you Google the Library of Congress Veterans History Project, they have there's actually a booklet that they will send you for free, and it has information on like the veteran's name, where they served, where they did basic training, questions to ask to help jog their memory on things, and you write it down in the book as you're videotaping, or showing my age, as you're videoing the conversation. So it's and it's a very good program. We did 5 or 6 when the first time I did it, and then the last time we were there at a retirement home, and we interviewed probably 10, 12, 15 veterans, and most of them had very interesting stories. One particular gentleman was a POW in World War II, and towards the end of the war, and he talked about the only people left guarding the POW camp were the older, like the German version of the National Guard. They used to let them out and they'd go into town and drink beer and then come back, sneak back into the camp so they wouldn't be missed.
Okay, we'll look into that. And I think there's definitely, I mean, I see Gina mentioned too, DAR has a similar, and again, we're looking to just encourage folks to do just that, learn those stories and share them. And then we'll see how there's other ways that we might be able to share those stories. Susan, you can go ahead. Susan Lenning.
Yes, Cindy, I was wondering, do you have the presentations in a PowerPoint presentation or PowerPoint slides that they can be used via webinar or in person on a screen?
For this particular presentation?
Yes.
Yes. And I think Amber, you
Yeah,
could probably.
These slides
Yes.
will be made available. Are you asking Susan about the actual lesson plans? What do you?
Yes, yes.
Now, the
And
lesson
how they're
plans are-
presented.
The lesson
Yes.
plans, if you go to the page and you click, there's like a Word document, and some of them have more information to kind of follow. So there's not actual slides for each lesson plan. No, there's like a
Okay.
document that you can download and has more information there.
Yes, and and on the lesson plans,
Mhm.
Susan, what we've done is we have, as I've been creating those, we've been connecting them with some level, with some standard. So in other words,
Oh,
either the CASEL standards or the Common Core standards or the National Council for the Social Studies standards, so that way, I'm in the state of Tennessee. And
right.
so I could have attached Tennessee standards, but what you all, I'm sure, know is that the standards are different depending on the state that you live in. But one thing about it, those really do have the basis for a teacher that is in California even to take a look at what the standard is that we've affixed to it, and then to utilize a standard that they may have from the state of California that is very, very similar or the same. It gives them kind of a jumping off place to say, oh, wait a minute, I can connect this to this particular standard, and they can simply insert it in there. They're PDF files.
Okay.
And you can download them. You can download all of the materials that are on there for the students to use.
Okay.
Coloring, everything from color. I never thought I would be building coloring sheets, but I have to admit, I've rather enjoyed that after, I hate to say it, after teaching high school for so many years, but I really have enjoyed working on many of these elementary level lesson plans, because there's just a little bit more creativity, I find, that you can kind of put out there for younger kids.
Oh, yeah, that's wonderful because, when we'd have our outings, we would, print the wreath, so they could color, but there wasn't a whole lot of interactive things for that
Yes.
developmental stage. And
Yes.
so that's,
Well, there, just check her out, because there are lots of, and I'm going to tell you, if there's something that you think of that
Mhm.
you think, oh, golly, this would be a great opportunity to put a lot, let me know. Let me know.
okay, sure will.
I am teach@readsacrossamerica.org.
And on that, and on the landing page that has been shared in the chat several times, there is a button at the very top that says add a resource. And if you click on that button, you email Cindy. It goes directly to Cindy. And again, it's her email. I'll put it in the chat, is teach@readsacrossamerica.org. And I'll put that in the chat so everyone has it. Julie, do you see other hands? I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Karen Worcester would like to, you can talk, Karen, you don't have to raise your hand.
I'm just trying to, I know what it's like to be in Cindy's classroom, so I'm raising my hand. But I thank everybody for coming tonight. And this has been a long time dream of mine. I want to thank Cindy for it's been so much fun working on it, and it's going to continue to develop. But and she touched on how this can help us just develop more relationships in the communities and bring kids in so that it really does become an experience of getting to know the history and getting to know those that served in their community and just bringing people closer together, because the more you learn, the more you want to learn, and the more you understand about really the character of the people it serves. So I think that when you get a chance to go in, look at the lesson plans, I absolutely love that we're working with other organizations, Medal of Honor Society, you know, a random act of kindness, the Rosie the Rivetist, all of them. I love that we're all working together. I think that in itself is a lesson for kids. So I hope that, and I love you had the slide showing all of you how to get involved in the local community. And I know Cindy's always open, looking for, you know, we've just thrown so much stuff at each other over the, it's like a lot of brainstorming and then having to unpack it and you know, just try to put it in a good way. And she's just been an amazing experience for me and the whole team. So thank all of you for your volunteerism, and Cindy, thank you for making this a dream come true for me. So appreciate it.
Thank you very much, Karen. Kathy, and Kathy is an educator. Kathy, you can go ahead.
Oh, hi. Hi, Cindy. Thank you very much too for what you're doing. I can truly identify with having a little more years than you in the whole system of education, but with high school students, believe me, I get it. One of my questions was for the PowerPoint that was presented tonight. Would there be an objection if we showed that PowerPoint to some of the boards of education just to get the idea for them to help us as an instructional tool? And I was thinking of sending it to the local high schools and asking for a meeting, but at least to get them to start to think about before perhaps I create something else that would be in addition to, if they'll permit a presentation. Is that okay? Would that be all right? I don't know, to use that. Yes, no?
Absolutely. I have absolutely no problem with you doing that.
Okay.
And I think it would be an excellent idea.
Mhm. And I think it'd be good too for like Boy Scout and Girl Scout groups too, because with their activities, some of that might tie in for them, because they're always looking for other things to do. I know the group leaders in our town, they're always looking for things. And that oral history project might be a nice thing for them to tap into, I think, within our own communities, you know, to see if they could do that. I think that might be another avenue to expand to, if we can. I don't know. We'll see how we go here, but we'll try. But great job. Thank you, everybody. But, you know, for all that, you know, you guys are doing. But Cindy, I really appreciate what you've done. I'm going to go
Thank you,
look
Kat.
and see it more.
And absolutely, I think Amber can probably send out the PowerPoint. I'm not sure how she'll want to do that, but I'm sure that Amber will
Julie, go.
take care of it.
So
Julie, over to
we
you.
did send out the PDF before in the webinar email, so everyone should have already had the PDF of that. But if anyone does want the actual slides, just reach out to your liaison and we can just email that over to you. That's probably the easiest way to do that.
And we'll also be posting this. Julie was just making sure we were all paying attention earlier and hit the record button late. So this is recorded and it will be added to our YouTube page, where all of our monthly webinars are our YouTube channel for Raise Across America. So you can view any ones that you missed, and you can certainly share those links. That those are not private links. You can share those with anybody that you'd like to. Karen, did you raise your hand again, or is that just from before? I can't tell.
No, I did. I'm like that kid in the
Okay.
back. I got my hand going, oh, me. I just was, there's so many things about this that I love. And you're talking about high school kids. God bless anybody that can teach teenagers. God love you. I pray for you. But one of the things that I think is so much fun and an opportunity, I think, for preteens and teens to get involved with, that's not as in depth as writing the veteran stories, is just the Rosie the Riveter, Ring a Bell for Rosie. It's such an opportunity to teach kids about finding a way to serve and how everybody came together during World War II and things like that, that we'll be feeding some of these things out too. So that information we'll find in there, I assume, the Ring a Bell for Rosie, as we work with that group. So there are so many opportunities. And when is that, Amber? Is that September?
September 6th, I
Yeah,
think.
it's right around Labor Day typically.
So that's a great opportunity in the community to bring young people in and to do that joint venture with Reads Across America and Ring a Bell for Rosie. And it starts people thinking about Reads Across America even more at that time of year. So we're so proud of this stuff. We're just going to be putting it out there, but there are a lot of things to look for. That's one of my favorites. Just saying.
And to add to what Karen's saying, so just so everyone knows what we're going to start doing, we're adding a teach section to our monthly newsletters. So the location connection will have, which all of you should receive as registered location coordinators and group leaders. If you have not received it, please let your liaison know. We'll make sure you have the correct email address. But we will be, for location connection, we'll be providing more specific material that you can utilize and download, and highlighting different lesson plans that tie to different dates and things like that. And then in Mission Matters, which is our publicly facing, and you can certainly be a member on that list as well, we'll be highlighting some of the other programs that some of the other materials that our partners are using. So for instance, like the Congressional Medal of Honor Society has a character development program for educators. It is free, but you do have to register and download their material. They do have regular, if you are an educator, they have regular trainings specific to their character development program. So again, our landing page is kind of a conduit to direct people to some of these other places. The United States of America Vietnam War Commemoration is actually in the process of revamping a number of their educational materials. So what's on there now is going to be updated in the next few months. So I definitely encourage you to look back. Reads Across America is a commemorative partner of the Vietnam War Commemoration. And one of the things that we're doing with this too is that Karen is interviewing all of these partners for Mission Matters, which will be airing on Reads Across America Radio. Mission Matters airs on Wednesdays at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern time. So the first one is tomorrow, and we have an interview with the education director for the Congressional Medal of Honor Society, talking about their character development program and how people can learn more and utilize those tools. So we'll be doing one each week for the next several weeks, and to hear more about their programs as well. Any other questions? Again, Karen, your hand is still up. I don't know if it went down. I don't know.
You did not give instruction on how to put your hand down. And
Okay, sorry.
I'm not that self-motivated.
All right, you're fine. I just didn't know if it went down and came back up. If there's nothing else, I appreciate everyone's time. Cindy, thank you so much for doing this. Cindy has been volunteering her time on this very important project, and it's been a lot of work, and it's been fun to work with her and learn from her. So we're excited about this, and we hope you are too. And again, if you have questions for Cindy or you have ideas for her, it's teach@readsacrossamerica.org, or you can go to the landing page that we've been sharing, and there is a big red button that says add resource, and that will go to Cindy as well. She's a pretty remarkable woman, so we're pretty excited to have her on board. And we appreciate all of you coming here tonight. And like that, we're going to give everybody 10 minutes back in their evening, and appreciate you coming. We're going to download this chat too, because we found all of those comments and your whys very important. So we're going to make that available too. So thank you guys so much for participating, and have a wonderful evening. Thank you, Cindy.
Yes. Thank you, everybody. It's great talking
Thank
to you.
Thank you.
And have a good
Good night,
evening.
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you, Amber.
Thank you.